Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Tuesday, the 5th of September. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Ashwin Berry. In the news tonight, the third edition of the Together for Safer Roads Soccer Day will be held with the support of Vivo Energy Namibia as the main sponsor on 18 November 2023 at the Vineta Central Sports Stadium in Swakopmund. The Soccer Day is the brainchild of the Automobile Association of Namibia and supported by its partner, the Namibia Road Safety Forum and the Road Safety Fraternity in collaboration with the National Road Safety Council and Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. Precious Ngitao Napo reports.
I'm delighted that we are hosting an important gathering that aims to bring key players in the road safety fraternity together. We are indeed delighted to welcome you all to our town. Director of Ceremonies, our esteemed guest. As I have been informed, the 2023 Soccer Day aims to provide an opportunity for public passenger transport drivers, as well as the traffic law enforcement agencies, such as the Namibian Police Force, the Road Authority traffic inspectors, and the municipal police services from Windhoek, Henties Bay, Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, and Otjiwarongo to synergize on the soccer pitch. Through this social event, AA aims to bring a sense of harmony and to sustain the relationship between traffic law enforcement agencies and public passenger transport providers. I was reminded by my PA that I should highlight one important road users, which are taxi drivers. They are they are our busiest entrepreneurs that are really making use of the roads, including the long road users that are taking really people from Swakopmund to Bambuland, Windhoek to Katima. You know, they are really busy on the road. Thank you, Dalinda, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a wonderful gesture, as I believe it will strengthen the relationship between the respective players. I was specifically pleased with this initiative, as I believe that this interaction between the public passenger transport drivers and law enforcement agencies will enhance and change driver behavior and attitude, as it will create mutual respect and understanding between the parties. I think one important thing that needs to be enhanced is the cell phone use when driving and when having people in the vehicles. That is really a very, very destructive one of the ills. Yeah, and in turn, ensuring safer road usage and subsequently decrease road crash casualties. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I wish to congratulate the AA and the respective stakeholders for this wonderful gesture. I wish to reaffirm you that as the town of Swakopmund, we are ready to host you and we look forward to a joyous and successful occasion.
Head of the European Union delegation to Namibia, Gosia Lahut, outlines the objectives of improving solid waste management in Windhoek project. Funding of 36.8 million Namibian dollars has been allocated towards the project by the EU. Now, Lahut speaks about the prize-giving ceremony for schools who took part in the pre-primary and primary schools recycling competition held at Oshomise Primary School this afternoon, explaining that diverse sources contribute to the city's water supply.
This event marks a celebration of not only our achievements, but also a powerful reminder of the vital role of young generation that you play in preserving our planet and for the future. You have shown us that small actions can lead to significant change, and your dedication to recycling has set an excellent example for us all, and hopefully for your parents as well. I will give a few remarks on our joint program, the solid waste management in Windhoek project, and the importance of recycling to preserve Mother Nature. This EU-funded program is implemented, as the Councillor mentioned already, in partnership with the City of Windhoek and the German city of Bremen, and has very ambitious objectives. One of its objectives is to support Namibia to shift towards a more sustainable model known, as Mr. Ganjimi indicated, as the circular economy. And we would like Windhoek to be a pilot and hopefully bring it to Namibia, to entire Namibia in the future. So it's very good to see also that plastic packaging is a sponsor of this event, and we are sure that they will be also on board for the actual work on this in the horizon. Director of Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, learners. Recycling is not just about separating trash into different bins. It is a tangible expression of our responsibility towards the environment. It is about reducing waste, conserving resources, and ultimately safeguarding the planet we all call home. And there is no other planet, there is no planet B. This competition ties in the Solid Waste Management Program, which aims at strengthening and empowering local authorities present here today in partner countries such as Namibia for enhanced governance and more effective development outcomes. When addressing issues, global issues such as climate change, growing inequalities, migration, and urbanization challenges, local authorities are at the forefront when responding to the challenges on the ground and providing viable solutions for and together with their communities. Ultimately, the program aims at translating the global sustainable development goals into local solutions.
The Swakopmund municipality has approved the nomination of its chief fire officer to attend the Emergency Management Assistance Program in Romania from 4 to 8 September. This follows a letter from the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development through the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, inviting Swakopmund municipality's chief fire officer to participate in a fully funded emergency management training offered by the government of Romania. Selection according to the minutes from the last ordinary council meeting, MURD invited 3 local authority councils, Ongwediva, Swakopmund and Mariento, to participate in the training. The final selection of the participants will be conducted by the government of Romania, which will cover all expenses for the participants. On the other hand, as per the council's traveling policy, the council is required to cover the normal subsistence and traveling expenses. In the meantime, a nomination form has already been forwarded to the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development to meet the deadline, the minutes read. The council recommended that special leave be granted to the chief fire officer to attend the emergency management training program. It also recommends that the normal out-of-town expenses and travel costs to and from Windhoek of 16,020 Namibian dollars to be paid to the chief fire officer. The council further recommended that a report be submitted to the management committee after the training. In the ongoing legal action regarding the removal of the veterinary cordon fence, affirmative repositioning activist Job Mpanda has been granted leave to provide proof of his financial resources for a protective cost order in the case. Judge Shafimana Uitele yesterday ordered that Mpanda be granted leave to approach the court on the aspect of his financial resources and the amount of costs that are likely to be involved in this matter and file his amplified papers by not later than 12 September. Mpanda filed a case on 26 May 2021 seeking a court order to have the VCF removed and declared illegal and unconstitutional. He listed Agriculture Minister Karl Schlatwein and Government Attorney General Festus Mbandeka and an official in the Directorate of Veterinary Services, Hanko Nambinga, as defendants in the matter. However, the Meat Board of Namibia was added as a 5th defendant after it asked for leave to intervene. 2 commercial farmers have joined as third parties against the case, and the Namibia Agricultural Union has also joined as defendants. Uitele said that the defendants may, if so advised, reply to the plaintiff's amplified papers by no later than 23 September. Providing background to the matter at hand, Uitele said that Mpanda last year March amended his existing particulars of claim in the controversial red line removal court case. This follows after the defendants in the matter moved to strike out some allegations made by Mpanda in his claim. The 3 defendants who stood trial on 11 charges related to fraud surrounding the B1 city development were acquitted yesterday in the High Court in Windhoek on various charges. Kelly Ngihulifwa, the former CEO of the road contractors company, applied to be acquitted of all 11 charges but was found not guilty on only 3 charges by Judge Christy Liebenberg. He was acquitted on 2 charges of contempt on the Road Contractors Company Act and 1 charge of corruption. Anando Roma, who was the shareholder at Tractams Engineering 10 times of the alleged crimes, was acquitted on a charge of fraud and charge of corruption. Iriana Marie van der Walt tells us more.
Die 3 beskuldigdes wat gesamentlik tereggestaan het op 11 klagte van bedrog en korrupsie is vanoggend in die Hoërhof deur regter Christy Liebenberg op verskeie klagtes vrygespreek. So hierdie beweringe van bedrog en korrupsie spruit almal uit die B1 City ontwikkeling in die hoofstad. So die voormalige uitvoerende hoof van die paaie kontrakteursmaatskappy, oftewel die RCC, Kalin Gigulifa, word daarvan beskuldig dat hy sy posisie as die uitvoerende hoof van die RCC misbruik het om baat te vind vir homself en sodat sy medebeskuldigdes ook baat kan vind daarbey. Sy twee medebeskuldigdes, Anand Doroma en Hafeni Ginamwami, word daarvan beskuldig dat hulle deur hierdie baat gevind het en dat hulle geweet het dat dit eintlik staatsgeld is en eintlik staatsmag is wat misbruik word. So, Ginamwami staan steeds tereg op 8 klagte, 4 van bedrog en 4 van korrupsie, maar hy is vrygespreek van 3 klagte. 2 van hulle hou.
Now in our Story of the Day segment, First National Bank donates QR code scanners to NWR. Stay with us.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
In our Story of the Day, spokesperson of Namibia Wildlife Resorts, Nelson Ashipala, speaks at the donation of QR code scanners by FNB worth 50,000 Namibian dollars. The scanners will enhance NWR's commitment to excellent customer service.
Complaints has been something that's been very, very problematic for us. And what we have done is we also try to bring in an aspect of trying to move complaints away from social media, but rather make it interactive. So what NWR has done is we have set up a sort of a scanning initiative whereby complaints come straight to head office, but not only to head office, they also go to resort managers, camp managers, and all these things. So I think it's good that we have our hands together and we said, let us fix this thing and let us try to come up with initiatives that will take complaints away from us.
Now, most people may find accountants to be generally reclusive, but this chartered accountant shares money matters online with communities. We'll be looking at that story in Community Talk shortly. Clistina Kauhondamwa is a chartered accountant who shares views on managing finances and shares money matters online with communities. She speaks about realizing the importance of living within your means and urged locals in Karibib to manage money wisely. Wetumwene Shikage reports.
The money that's going out there, sort of like specific components within your budget that you need to be mindful of and just make sure that you are not overspending in various categories. And the first one I want to talk about is almost like your operational budget, as the director said, yeah. And that is really what you spend your money to fund your day-to-day. That is your housing, your expenses. I mean, your housing, your water, your electricity, your food. That is your necessity. And for people that have, mortgages and car loans, that would normally fall into there, because without that debit order going off, you won't be able to survive the month. So this is where you put. So what you need to look at this category is what in this category is indicative of me living above my means. Because you cannot have your income, 90% of it going to necessities, because it just means that you are potentially one paycheck away from being broke. If your employer were to not pay your salary tomorrow, what would happen to you? And the banks are quite clear about it. An average Namibian person is living above their means. That's why the use of revolving credit plans, that's why the use of facilities credit card facilities are making money for them, because a lot of people cannot afford to be not paid just even 1 month. So you need to make sure that your necessities aren't too high, because if it is, it's a clear indication you are perhaps aiming a bit too high in terms of your living standard and you might have to tone it down. In terms of other categories, we have savings, and in this, normally, I would say savings is, for many of us, we put money aside, but then we follow it. It's, especially, I honestly don't know why people have 32 days account. Then today the money is on 32 days. It hasn't even been 32 days, you are already going to.
Staying with numbers, but this time on a national scale, Namibia's trade deficit worsened to 3.7 billion Namibian dollars in July. More in economic news shortly. Namibia's trade deficit worsened to 3.7 billion Namibian dollars in July compared to 1.5 billion recorded in June 2023, according to the Namibia Statistics Agency. The import bill increased by 17.8% to 11.9 billion Namibian dollars from 10.1 billion Namibian dollars registered in June. On the other hand, export earnings decreased by 3.8% from 8.6 billion Namibian dollars recorded in June to 8.3 billion Namibian dollars in July. Let's head into the economic indicators. Namibian dollar trades at 19.16 next to the US dollar, with 2.62 Namibian dollars getting you 1 Chinese yuan. Brent crude oil managed an uptick of 1.38%, whilst copper, gold and platinum were in the red. In international news, Niger's Prime Minister says he expects quick French withdrawal. Stay with us.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Niger's junta-appointed prime minister has said that he expects French troops to begin withdrawing from the country soon. Ali Mahamane Lamine Ziene was speaking at a news conference yesterday amid a large protest at a French military base in the capital Niamey. Anti-French sentiment has been rising since Niger's military coup in July.
Niger's junta-appointed prime minister has said that he expects French troops to begin withdrawing from the country soon. Ali Mahamane Lamine Ziene was speaking at a news conference on Monday amid a large protest at a French military base in the capital, Niamey.
The government has already denounced the agreements that allow them to be on our territory. They are in an illegal position, and I think that the exchanges that are underway should very quickly enable these forces to withdraw from our country.
Anti-French sentiment has been rising since Niger's military coup in July. However, relations soured further last week when France ignored the junta's order for its ambassador to leave the country. Niger has also cut military coordination with French forces that it had previously worked with to fight jihadist militants. Here's protester Seydou Souley Ali outside the French base on Saturday.
If they won't leave, we're here. We're going to stay, even if it's 100 years. We're going to stay here. We are determined, and France will leave.
At the news conference, Ziene also said that talks with West Africa's regional bloc were ongoing. ECOWAS has slapped sanctions on Niger. It also threatened military action as a last resort to restore constitutional order, prompting the closure of Niger's airspace. On Monday, Niger's military leaders reopened airspace to all commercial flights, without immediately giving a reason for lifting the ban.
A light railway began operation in Africa's most popular city, Lagos, yesterday, 4 decades after it was first booted as a solution to the Nigerian city's chronic traffic congestion. David Doyle has more.
Traffic congestion in Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, is notorious. And that's why passengers in Africa's most popular city were welcoming the maiden voyage of a long-awaited light rail service on Monday.
This is really time-saving.
The metro system was first mooted 4 decades ago. Its initial 8-mile phase, dubbed the Blue Line, links the mainland where most people live with the affluent Lagos Island, where many businesses are headquartered. Passenger Anthony Akwa said making that journey by road is very unpredictable.
We can't plan our life. You can't tell somebody in Ireland that you are coming within 1 hour because you don't know how the road is going to be. But with train, it's pretty straightforward because you know when you are going to leave and when you are going to reach your destination.
Lagos state officials have said that a journey that once took more than 2 hours will now take 15 minutes. The first phase was built by China's Civil Engineering Construction Corp. Work on the second phase is expected to begin later this year. On completion, officials say the metro is expected to carry 500,000 passengers every day.
Let's head straight into the weather predictions. It's looking like Windhoek, Omaruru, Oshuarongo, Tsumebe and Khobabis can expect partly cloudy conditions, whilst it's sunny in Katima, Rundu, Enana, Oshakati and Ruakana. Ariamsvlei can expect a 3 degrees Celsius minimum, making it very chilly, actually the coldest in the country, whilst Henties Bay can expect a 16 degrees Celsius maximum. We'll now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by Sportrap.
Good evening and welcome to your Sunset News Sports section. I'm your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. Former Blackburn Rovers and Wigan Athletic defender Ryan Nyambe was unable to find a club during the transfer window. The player remains a free agent with little interest from European clubs reported. The Brave Warriors international is said to have won enough duels as a defender last year and is still likely to play for his former club if any interest arises. A Football League World report suggests that Nyambe's former club could bargain from regaining the defender on a free deal. There are, however, suggestions that the club may not be interested in the player after he left Wigan, who got relegated from the League One Championship. The defender has meanwhile been named in Namibia's provisional squad, set to play South Africa in a friendly on 9 September. As Namibia tighten their laces for the 2023 Rugby World Cup, they face a challenging task in Pool A. The Velviches of Namibia are the underdogs in this pool, but despite being given slim chances by bookmakers, the team will be determined to showcase their progress against the strongest teams in the world. Namibia, who has an impressive record of qualifying for the World Cup 7 times consecutively, will face Italy at 1300 on Saturday in St. Etienne. Their other Pool A fixtures are against New Zealand on 15 September. Host France on 21 September and Uruguay on 27 September. By invitation, Namibia staffer Laka Brave Warriors played a friendly football match against Zimbabwe at the inauguration of President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Harare yesterday. Namibia were behind 2-1 at halftime after strikes by Mthokozisi Mzebe and Farai Mbanda for the home side gave the full-time a lead. The full-time whistle blew at 2-2 after the Namibians had scored goals through Eliakim Jackson and Edmund Kambada. Zimbabwe then won 5-4 on penalties. The Namibian squad has been preparing for their upcoming friendly clash with South Africa's Bafana Bafana on 9 September. That brings us to the end of tonight's Sport Drive section. Good night.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
In the highlights from this evening's broadcast, the Swakopmund municipality has approved the nomination of its chief fire officer to attend the Emergency Management Assistance Program in Romania from 4 to 8 September. In the ongoing legal action regarding the removal of the veterinary cordon fence, affirmative repositioning activist Job Mpanda has been granted leave to provide proof of his financial resources. And former Blackburn Rovers and Wigan Athletic defender Rai Nyambe was unable to find a club during the transfer window. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website oneup2.com, DSTV 285 and GoTV channel 25. This has been Sunset News. My name is Ashwin Berry. Don't end your day without us.